Welcome everyone to today's webinar focusing on converting online real estate leads into closings in 2022. My name is Jamie Quinzer and I'm the Vice President of Marketing at CINC. And today we have John Marrone, who is a business advisor for our CINC Community Live team. John has worked with thousands of businesses across the US and Canada, focusing on profitability and efficiencies. John, as he mentioned, resides in the Destin, Florida area with his wife and 2 kids. John is here to drive value. Without further ado, keep the chat going. Let's have the conversation. We'll be hopping on, making it interactive. John, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jamie. So guys, as you guys are coming in here, I want you guys to know this is going to be about 45 minutes of pretty high energy. We're going to get to some massive life-changing and business-changing content. But here's a quick little challenge I have for you guys. And I know as real estate agents, fellow real estate agent myself here in Destin, I know that our phone is probably blowing up, right? We have tabs open all over the place, not to mention the tabs that we have open in our brain. What I challenge you guys to do in the next 45 minutes, I want to be engaged with you guys completely. I want to be 1000% present. And so therefore, I would love for you guys to be 1000% present with us. And the reason being is because if you miss that one thing that could change your business, all because you were scanning over to go ahead and look at that Facebook post or look at that email, you may be disappointed that you joined to the last 45, right? So here's my challenge. I'm going to give you guys 15 seconds. Phone, if you're on your phone, it's a different story, but put it on silent, get rid of the tabs. Let's take a few seconds here and get rid of all distractions, and then find yourself a handy dandy notebook and a pen, because it's all about making sure we take notes that can make sure that we align with obviously what we're hearing and then be able to take action. Let's take another 5 seconds or so, cut out all those tabs. Let's go. All right, 3, 2, 1. Teresa says done. Boom. All right, so let's dive in, guys. You know, Jamie kind of presented it to begin with, but we've trained over 8,000 real estate agents on how to convert leads at a better and higher rate. Now, there's a lot to it. Not going to lie, it's not just about the scripts. And to be honest with you, it's really not about the leads. The leads are a huge component, but there's this process, right? We take people through understanding the art and science behind sales, and then tapping into human psychology and human behavior. Now, what I didn't tell you about the 8,000 agents that we have trained, I didn't tell you the results, which is the most phenomenal part, obviously. So the results are from contact to appointment set. With 8,000 agents trained, we have a 33% conversion rate on buyer online leads. So I'm curious in the chat, if you want to go ahead and increase your conversion, if you want to go ahead and get to that 33% conversion rate, drop an "ah yeah" into the chat right now. Let's blow it up, because that's why you're here. You're here to understand how to go ahead and make that a reality. These are proven systems, guys. So what we're going to talk about today isn't things that we think work, right? These aren't things that, oh, maybe if we throw this wet noodle at a wall, it'll stick. These things work. 8,000 agents to prove it. And I'm going to give you guys a little insider here. I'm always a little bit surprised whenever we go ahead and we do our conversion days live, where it's always 33% or more. And not necessarily surprised like, oh man, this works, but like, consistently for 4.5 years, it's been happening. So you guys are gonna get a little taste of that today. So let's get cranking. So first off, I'm gonna use my slide here. And once again, I love the chat blowing up, so let's keep it going. So what we find out is where a lot of agents struggle with their conversion actually doesn't even have anything to do with them on the phone. And what I mean by that is I have a podcast, right? And I interviewed a good friend of mine. His name is Heath Evans. He played for the Super Bowl champs Patriots as well as the Saints. And so I had to ask him, I said, look, Heath, what makes Tom Brady so good? Like, how does he win so many championships when in reality on paper, he's not the best or most skilled athlete out there? Now, actually, he got better as the years went on, but he said something very simple. And when I sat back and thought about it, I realized there's so many people that are missing this. And here's what he said: John, Tom wins the game before the game starts. And as I watch the Rams play the Bengals, and I'm hearing these interviews prior for Super Bowl, everybody keeps coming back to the same thing, saying, And the reason why we're here is the things that you didn't see, is the work that we put in prior, is the rituals that we have prior to you ever seeing us on the big screen. So now I challenge and ask you, what is your ritual before making calls? What is your pre-game ritual? And if you don't have one, we're going to give you one. We're going to give you one that works. And we're going to tell you why it works. So here are the 5 W's to win a game before it starts, or to win a battle before it starts, however you want to look at it. The first is what? What are your goals? Now we have something, a part of our brain called the reticular activating system. Okay. Now in the chat, I want to know, has anybody here recently bought a new car? Say yes if you did. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch. So I just bought the new Jeep 4xe, the new Wrangler that has the 25 miles for hybrid. It's freaking awesome. Love it. We also got the new Cherokee, which has a 3rd row, but I think we're trading it in for the Wagoneer, right? So there you go. Another 4xe here. Love it. So here's the thing. When you guys bought this new car, okay, there's a bunch of you guys, by the way, good job buying some new cars. Means you guys are doing things and making money. So when you bought this new car, when you were in the process of it and you're driving around, did you see more or less of those cars on the road? Drop into the chat. More or less of the car that you bought on the road. More, right? Now, is that a coincidence? Or are they like, man, you know, Barry, he's got this new Mercedes. We need to get a new Mercedes, right? Maybe you are that cool to where everybody's copying you. But the reality is this. The part of our brain, the reticular activating system, was activated. And so whatever you focus on expands, right? Whatever you focus on expands. Now, John, why is this important for sales and for what we're going over today? Is because do you truly set goals before you actually make your dials? Or you're like, oh, I'm going to dial for an hour. Oh, I'm going to call these 5 leads. Or do you set an intentional goal of saying, I'm going to go ahead and talk to 5 people and set 2 appointments? Because if you don't set that really intentional goal, your brain does not find the opportunity to achieve it. It's called success consciousness. So if you are not success consciousness, how are you going to create success? So before every time you dial, guys, get really clear. What's the goal? What's the goal? It's not to just dial, right? There's an appointment goal, and make sure you guys set it every single time. That's the first W. The next one is why. Now, in our scripting, we dive deep into the why. The one thing that you'll learn about our scripting or framework, however you want to position it, is that we step away from the glorified Applebee's server role, right? How many bedrooms? 3. How many baths? 2. What location? And we transfer into a true problem solver. And we do that by asking deep questions. But this why is about your why. I don't know if anybody on here, and there might be some crazy people on here, but you get up every day where you're like, yes, cannot wait to call these leads and get hung up on. I cannot wait for people to tell me they already bought when they said they were going to wait 6 months. I cannot wait for all that. No, we don't. But what happens is if you have a strong enough meaning, it'll create enough movement, right? Because emotion creates motion. Write it down. Emotion creates motion. So what's your why? Why are you going to wake up every day and go after these leads to be able to set these appointments? Because in the process of this, there's going to be failure. What's your deep enough reason to go through failure, right? There's going to be self-doubt. What's a deep enough reason for you to go through self-doubt? What is your why? Now, here's a little trick. I love a big, deep-rooted why. Totally about that, guys. The problem is it can kind of get exhausting. Right? Who would agree? Like always tapping into that deep-rooted why, as well as sometimes we think we got time. But here's a reality situation. If you create what we call a momentary meaning, you then have an accelerated action. When you create, write it down, momentary meaning, it will create accelerated action. And why is that? It's because if we have something what we call a 12-week goal versus a 12-month goal, and we understand that action is needed now, there's some urgency, it'll help us push that urgency way faster, way quicker with a deeper meaning. So create a momentary why, all right? Get really clear on it so you can go ahead and understand what the emotion is that creates motion. Okay, the next one is Sales journal. Where? Let's go back to football. So team plays on Sunday. What do they do on Monday? Drop it to the chat. What would a team do on Monday after they played a game on Sunday? Let's see. Drop it to the chat. Review, video, footage, right? Love it. Absolutely. Okay. So you guys are basically all aligning, understanding what it is. They watch film. They watch to see what they did wrong, what they need to do better, what they did great. What film are you watching? What film are you watching of your dials the week before? Because if you don't have a way to track it, you're not going to know where to pivot. See, what gets inspected gets respected. What gets inspected gets respected. So you got to have this sales journal, and guys, make it really simple. Don't overcomplicate it, right? Very, very simple. Hey, what did I do wrong on this call? What did I do great in this call? What do I need to do more of on this call? And as you get off a call, write those things down, and then you'll have an understanding on how to pivot faster. Get a sales journal, just a regular notebook. Nothing crazy, right? Nothing crazy. Just get a regular notebook and ask yourself those questions. And then go back and become, as my man Josh says, a note ninja, right? Come back and say, okay, here's my playbook. Now I know what I need to work on. Because a lot of times we think we're saying one thing, but after a few hours, we actually look back and say, oh, maybe I didn't say that because I didn't get the result. So track what you're saying, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then review it so you can pivot faster. Okay, the next W is wow, right? Energy. Some of you guys watching us right now are probably like, man, John, you got a lot of energy, right? You're a lot of energy. And I do, but it's very strategic, right? Very strategic. I turn it on when I need to turn it on. I have different energy for different things, right? I have different energy for different events. And I make sure my energy is aligned and cultivates the success I need for that project, right? Or that event. Oh, how do I do it? Few ways, right? There's water, there's clarity breaks. We can get into 10 different ways on how to create better energy, but I'm gonna give you one. And that is before you get on a call, before you start dialing for your hour worth of dialing, I want you to be able to get into peak state. So listen to some good music, prayer, go outside and get grounded, meditate, whatever it is for you, but find a way to elevate your energy because energy is contagious. That's a writer downer. Energy is contagious. And when you are sitting there and you have great energy and you call and that person picks up, it translates, it transfers. People want to work with people that have good energy. People want to work with people that have good energy. If you call and say, hey, this is John on the home search site. I know you're looking over at a house in Destin. Nobody's going to want to work with that. But if you call and you have good energy and you're the lid, things change. Right? We take people through a whole little exercise at a live event. We'll have you scream, we'll have you roar, whatever it is for you. But the worst thing to do is not find the energy to cultivate the success. And actually two more pieces about energy. One is if you sit down and make your dials, that's a no-no. Stand up. And here's the reason why. We understand that tonality is a key piece to our success in sales, right? We all agree, right? Little virtual head nods. So if we understand and we agree to that, where does it come from? Our tonality comes from our diaphragm. So when we're making dials and you're on your 50th dial, you've had 10 people hang up on you, whatever the case, you've had a bad day of dialing. What happens to your body? You start to slouch. You're sitting down, all of a sudden your feet start to ride up. You're no longer grounded. So if you want to have good energy, first thing to do is understand standing up is a must. Okay, the other thing about energy. Now, a lot of people talk about this. Energy is not just volume. Energy is not just volume. It's tonality. It's pauses. It's curiosity in conversations. It's empathy. That's energy, right? That's energy. But you can't get there unless you do things prior to get there. All right. So the next thing, and last but not least, is winning. Confidence. Now we can go all day and talk about what true confidence is, which is simple. It's the small commitments that you keep, right? It's the consistency to small commitments. But the other part of confidence is the work you put in, right? It's the work you put in. Go back to the Tom Brady story. Here's the thing. Tom Brady steps onto that field and he knows what to do before it happens. Another great story tells about Drew Brees. If you ever see Drew Brees, well, now he's retired, but you'll see him before and after a game when nobody on the field, and he'll go through his progression. He'll see that guy, and he'll see that guy, and he'll see that guy. And he goes through these progressions. And here's the reason why. Because he goes through them when nobody's watching. He goes to them when it's not game time. When game time comes, it happens subconsciously. It happens with less effort. It happens quicker. What are you doing? What are you doing to gain that confidence? So here's a question I have. Let's blow it up the chat. Who here, and say yes or no, do you role play at least twice a week? Twice a week, do you role play, yes or no? I'm going to wait. See, figured much, okay? So we have 95% that say no. I'm gonna dig into you guys right now. First of all, do I have permission to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear? Yes. Okay, cool. Here's the thing. Like, how do you expect to get better? Practicing on money? I have a son who's 1 month old today, and I have a daughter who's 4.5, almost 5 actually. Shoo. And here's the thing. Think about your kids. Okay, think about your kids. If you don't have kids, think about when you have kids. If little Johnny came up to you and he was like, Dad, Mom, I want to, let's go back to the football analogy, but this is for any sport or any academic thing. It doesn't make a difference. I want to be the best at something. Let's use football since we're on that path. I want to be the best football player. Would you ever tell little Johnny, hey, just show up on game day, Johnny. You're good. Show up on game day and you'll be the best. Would you ever tell that to your kid? Absolutely not. Okay, so what do we tell them then? Practice, practice, practice. Little Johnny practice. He practice. Right? Then little Johnny goes ahead and he gets a scholarship to a D1 school, hopefully the Gators. Sorry, some fans out there that are not Gator fans. And then all of a sudden he goes, Dad, Mom, I made it. D1 school, full ride. I'm good. I don't need to do anything, right? Just go show up for Saturday games. Nah, Johnny, you got to practice. You got to keep practicing and practice harder. So all of a sudden, little Johnny practices really hard and he gets drafted in the NFL draft by the Cowboys. Sure as hell need it, right? He gets drafted by his favorite NFL team. He says, Mom, Dad, can you believe it? I made it. So I can stop practicing and show up on Sunday, right? You would never tell that to your kid. You would say, you got to keep practicing. So if we would always tell our kids, no matter if it's a sport, no matter if it's academics, no matter if it's an instrument, if we would always tell our kids, if you want to be the best, you got to put the work in and practice to be the best. If we're holding our kids to that standard, but yet we aren't holding ourselves to that standard, it'll never work. Listen to me, guys. Never hold your kids to a standard that you're not willing to keep yourself. Are you guys with me on that? Let me know in the chat, because that's serious right there. Because if you are asking your kids or you're asking the people around you to hold themselves to a higher standard that you yourself aren't willing to hold yourself to because of whatever excuse, whatever, reason you have, it's never going to work. Not enough time. Nah, you got enough time. You're just not prioritizing it. It's awkward. Yeah, it's awkward. When you start doing it more, it becomes less awkward. That's how you get over it. I have nobody to do it with. Yes, you do. You just haven't asked enough people. Or you could also do it by yourself. Give me every excuse. I'll find a way around it. You know why? Because it needs to be a priority. So you need to make it a priority. And write this quote down because it's one of my favorites. I love to tell people. If you want to increase your pay, you must increase your role play. Okay, if you want to increase your pay, you must increase your role play. 3 days a week, bare minimum. Bare minimum. Tom Brady does not become Tom Brady without practice. The people that you look up to or the people that you idolize their accolades, right? You idolize their wins. Well, guess what? Those wins are only wins because of the practice they put in. So if you idolize them for their wins, you shouldn't be idolizing them for that. You should be idolizing them for the work they're putting in and the practice they're putting in and the dedication and commitment, no matter what excuse comes up, that they're doing the work before those stands fill. That's what you should be aiming for. The wins, the results, the medals, the money, that's the byproduct. You guys with me on that? Yes or no in the chat? Yes or no? You guys with me on that? All right, heating up over here. Whew. All right, let's go to the next thing. So here's the other piece. And this is honestly, guys, probably we figured out hold on, there we go. Probably about 70%. 70% of your objections come from your opening line. Your opening line is not where it needs to be. And I can go all day about what you shouldn't be saying, but here's the situation. A lot of you guys are stepping on landmines. You're stepping on landmines. You're saying their name, landmine, right? You're saying, how are you doing? Landmine is going to blow up, right? You're going ahead and saying that you're a real estate agent right out the gate, landmine. Understand this aspect of it. When you call and you say you're in real estate, what does somebody think about a real estate agent? Unfortunate, but they think they have no value. They think that they're used car salesmen. So when you say that you are that, what is their perspective of you? Why would they ever want to continue a conversation with you? Right? So you got to understand that. Also, we're built all the same way. Right? Everybody in this webinar is built the same way. We're built like cavemen and cavewomen. Our brain is there to protect us, even when protecting us no longer serves us. Right? You got to do a lot of work to overcome that. Most of the people you're calling, they haven't done the work. So here's what happens. Right? Josh calls. And Josh says, I'm a real estate agent. Josh says, whatever it might be. Josh says something to where the person on the other end feels like they're going to be sold, right? Or has a fear. Now, when a human feels fear, it sends a signal to their nervous system. Their nervous system sends a signal to their brain and says, run, get out of there. And their form of getting out of there is any excuse. You say their name. Nope, this isn't John. Right? You say, oh, you registered on my site. Nope, no, I didn't. So they're built like that. That's how humans are built. So how do we get around it? You create an opening line like the one we have here that does not step on those landmines. So I'll go kind of quick with it because I know we got about 20 minutes left. So when you call high energy, I'm going to break it down slowly, then we'll go from there. Hey, this is John with the home search site. I know you're looking over in Dallas at some homes. Just curious, are you looking to make a move in the next few months or just browsing? Okay, a few things. Home search site, not your website, not Zillow, not realtor.com, home search site. Why? Because they're on 1,000 sites. Okay. We don't want to say the one site they don't like, right? Or give them a site name. Nope, I was on that site, home search site. Then we give Dallas or Destin or wherever you're from as a key city for familiarity. I also say homes, not houses. Homes are for buyers, brings an emotion in. Houses are for sellers, brings an emotion out. Just curious, looking to make a move in the next few months or just browsing. Now, this part right here, I've recently changed and says, oh, instead of saying, I know you were looking, I simply say, hey, I noticed you were looking. So I noticed versus I know. Not a huge difference, but just kind of putting it out there for you guys. All right, so why are we saying just browsing? Does anybody know? Anybody know why we're saying just browsing? Let's see, I'm curious. In this script, we say just browsing. Why are we saying that? Because that's what everybody says, right? Puts them at ease. Yeah, right? It's the setup before the knockdown. Yes. So that's the thing, right? We know they're going to come out with just browsing. We get it. Why not give it to them? So their wall goes down and we have a direct line of sight to build real rapport. So I'm going to do it. But then pay attention, guys, because I'm going to ask you guys what you heard or how you heard it. And I want to see if you guys are with me and understand the way we did it. Okay. So we call, we say, hey, this is John with the home search site. I noticed you were looking over in Dallas at some homes. Hey, just curious, looking to make a move in the next few months or are you just browsing? Do it one more time and tell me what you heard. Hey, this is John with the home search site. I noticed you were looking over in Destin at some homes. Just curious, looking to make a move in the next few months or are you just browsing? Let's see. Let's see. Tone. Okay. What kind of tone? What kind of tone? High energy. Yep. Yep. Emphasis, energetic, friendly, carefree, excitement. So all those things are right. When I say you're looking to make a move in the next few months, or you just browsing, my voice goes down, my tonality goes down, and it's called a curiosity tonality. Versus, you looking to make a move in the next few months, or are you just browsing? Not curiosity tone, super robotic, right? So say you're looking to make a move in the next few months, or you just browsing? Yeah, I'm just browsing. Then we go to the next line. Perfect. Look, that's exactly what the site is for. Well, I have you. What's prompting you to browse? Now, what did I do there? Right? What did I do there? I think it keeps telling me. There we go. What did I do there? Let's see. Do it again. They say just browsing. Perfect. That's exactly what the site is for. Hey, while I have you, what's prompting you to browse? Right? Create interaction, getting them to talk. We made it about them. I also did two other things, right? Super open, friendly. I did two other things there. One, when I said perfect, that's exactly what the site is for, I gave them a little, hey, you're doing the right thing, right? And then the other part about it is I was normal. You guys probably heard me say in there. Did you guys hear me say that? Hey, perfect, man. That's exactly what the site is for. While I have you, what's prompting you to browse? That's the way I speak, right? I'm going to use the word right? That's the way that makes me human. And then when I say, what's prompting you to browse? Human, right? Plus the curiosity tone and being interested gets them to open up. It doesn't sound like a script because it's literally curiosity. Perfect. Look, obviously, you're looking to make a move. Tell me, what are you looking for? Like that's way too much when you start going in and say, okay, so, what are you browsing for? Oh, I don't know, man, when I see it. Okay, though, what's your perfect dream home look like? Get rid of all that stuff. Now, I will tell you something. We're all about the why questions, right? Here, right here. Can't do it. I don't think so. It says, what's prompting you to browse? Okay, what's prompting you to browse? That is a different question than what are you browsing for? I'll say that one more time, because I want to make sure we have this distinction. What's prompting you to browse versus what are you browsing for are two separate questions. What's prompting you to browse is a why question shaped in a what format. But what are you browsing for is a what question, which we do not want to open up with. You guys with me on this opening line? What do you guys think about this opening line? You like it? What do you think? What do you think? And guys, 8,000 agents, 33% conversion rate. And this is a huge piece to it. But it doesn't work unless you make it your own. You can't make it your own unless you practice it. So take this opening line, screenshot, whatever. And then I want you to practice it every single morning for 10 minutes. Every morning for 10 minutes. Soon enough, perfect may not be your word. I had a guy and he said, huzzah was his word. I don't know if he's on here. I was like, I don't even know what that means, but if you feel comfortable saying huzzah versus perfect or awesome or phenomenal, whatever, man, it's totally up to you. I want you to have confidence. So you got to practice it. Okay. All right. So let's go into the next piece of it. So this is where what I call like the nuts and bolts. All right. This is the meat and potatoes. We go 3 whys deep for every what. Okay. So when they say, I'm looking for X, we go 3 whys deep. And so we don't have this mapped out, but I want you to take your pen and paper and I want you to map out the funnel of how the conversation should go. Okay. So agent, you ask the what question. Okay. They tell you, so, okay, awesome. So how many bedrooms? 4. They answer. Agent, you follow up with a why question. Okay, and why is that important for you? Okay, 4 bedrooms. Why is that important? They then answer, and this is the hard part that we all struggle with. In that moment, they're going to give you bait bombs. They are going to tell you so many things that you need to hear to utilize in the conversation. But you, right now, agent, as a person telling you why it's important, 95% of you are thinking about the next question to ask while they're answering. Yes or no? Is that you? Are you the person that is thinking about the next question to ask while the person is answering? I'm gonna let you guys funnel in here. Right? Here's the cool part, guys. The next question to ask is being delivered in their current answer. The next question to ask is being delivered in their current answer. So use this value that I use, and I'm always working on, promise you. You never like perfect with it because perfect's not real, but listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. Listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. It's huge, right? It's huge. They're giving you answers. Be curious, be engaged. So we go 3 whys for every what, and it goes like that. So it goes what question followed by why. Extract information and build the conversation. They tell you they got kids. They tell you that they have a dog. They tell you that school systems are important to them. Whatever it is, you now build a conversation with them. You don't just jump right into another why question. 4 bedrooms, interesting, man. So why is that important to you? Well, we got 2 bedrooms right now, and we have 2 kids and another one on the way. So we are cramped. Extract information. Man, so you're telling me you have about to have 3 kids with 2 bedrooms. Yeah. Okay. Well, first off, I commend you for having 2 kids and 2 bedrooms. So you have a boy or girl? Oh, we got a boy and a girl. Man, that's the jackpot for most people. That's what happened to us. How old are they? 4 and 7. Have a conversation about it. Now I flip it in. I say, so let me ask you, so what would that mean for you to be able to have the extra bedrooms? Here's how this is the gold. Man, it'd be amazing. I'd be able to have our own space. My wife and I can have our own space. We wouldn't feel on top of each other. Interesting. What else? It would just be, the environment would be a little bit different. The energy would be better in the house. So different. It's a different conversation. You guys see that, right? But you don't get there unless you go 3 whys for every what. 3 whys for every what. Extract information, build a conversation, and come back in. Now, some people still won't open up. They won't. So very quick, very simple. You A/B question them. They're not opening up. It's like, okay, hey, look, let me ask you. Are you looking for 3 or 4 bedroom? You looking condo or single family? Just A/B question them, okay? If they're not opening up, A/B question them. You guys with me on the nuts and bolts? Drop it to the chat. I want to make sure before we move on. A/B question them. 3 whys for every what. Dig deep, grab the emotion. People only make decisions off of pain or pleasure. So we got to dig for it. No longer will you be a glorified Applebee's server. You are digging for the pain or pleasure, solving a true problem, creating an evangelist. And that's how you win big time in real estate. And that's what makes sales fun. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Let's go to the part where so many people struggle, which is asking for the business. Asking for the business, okay? There's 2 here. I'm not going to necessarily go through the motivation close right now. Not going to go through that. But in the end, if you grab the motivation, that's the close you want to use. But I'm going to give you right now is a clarity close, which is one of my favorites. I'm going to tell you why. So with the clarity close, you could use it in 2 spots. One spot, if they're not giving you enough information, you're like, hold on, let me actually try to re-engage them. They're not giving you enough information. They're not really giving you a lot. They kind of seem hesitant. You say, hey, look, I just want to make sure that you got the right person with the right strategy for the right time. Does that sound fair? Yeah, I get it. All right, perfect. So let's dive back in. 3 or 4 bedrooms. Once again, they're not giving you a lot of information. It's like, hey, look, I'm not trying to pressure you in anything. I just want to make sure that you got the right person with the right strategy for the right time. Does that sound fair? What did I do there? When I said the clarity close, what did I do there? Let's see what you guys picked up. Hey, look, I just want to make sure that you got the right person with the right strategy for the right time. Does that sound fair? Empathetic, right? Does that sound fair? Which is a closing statement. The other part is there's no pressure and I'm pausing, right? I'm not saying, hey, I just want to make sure you got the right person with the right strategy for the right time. Does that sound salesy? Yes, it does, right? But when you say, look, I just want to make sure that you got the right person with the right strategy for the right time. Does that sound fair? So you use it when they're not opening up. And then other part you use it is when they opened up, they didn't maybe give you everything, but they opened up, but they still want to wait. They don't want to meet with you. They don't want to do a Zoom, right? They just send me stuff. And then, when I see something, I'll let you know. Say, hey, look, I totally get it. I just want to make sure that you got the right person with the right strategy for the right time. Does that sound fair? Client? Yeah, no, that sounds fair. Perfect. So look, here's simple. The next step in the process for us to jump on a quick Zoom call. You can kind of hear about our strategy, put a face to the name. Also, what I want to do is I want to find some homes, particularly just for you. I want to hand select some homes, and I want to kind of walk you through them to make sure we're on the same page. Does that work? So from there, I go right to the close. Do you see the additional part of that close? Hey, look, it's real simple, real simple. The next step in the process is for us to jump on a quick Zoom call or meet somewhere, whatever it is for you and your market. So this way you can go ahead and hear about our strategy, how we could help you. Also, you can put a face to the name. And I'm going to go ahead and hand select a certain amount of homes for you. And I'm going to walk you through them so we can make sure we're on the same page. Does that work? All right. Any questions on this close, or you guys with it? You guys understand? You guys like it? Let's see. Drop it to the chat. Let's go. Blow it up. We got about 10 minutes left. Let's go. Blow it up. I like it a lot. I like it. I like it. I like it. Good stuff. Boom, boom. All right. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to jump into the last slide. But if you guys are getting value, this is what we do on a daily basis with Commissions Inc. But even outside of that, you can always reach out to me if you need anything. Okay. So hit me up on Instagram at Real John Marrone. If you need anything, slide into my DMs, reach out to me, tell me about your process, tell me how you liked. The biggest thing I love to hear is how you liked today's webinar, as well as maybe if I could help you in any way and get you into the right system to make sure that you guys are producing the conversion rate you want to. At Real John Marrone. Hit me up on Instagram, and please slide into DMs and let me know if you have any questions, because I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. So let's dive into the last part. All right, here's the last part. Now that you have the tools, here's what's really stopping you, because this is the reality of the situation, guys. I could sit here all day and give you these tips, these tools, these resources. We could tell you if you have CINC or don't have CINC to go get CINC. We could tell you what to do on social media. We could give you all these things. But what comes down to is that there is probably fear within you of creating the life that you want, taking the action, making the dials. There's fear of judgment, fear of disappointment, fear of rejection. There's this fear on why you're not producing these, fear of asking for the business. There's this fear that is overcoming you from taking the action that is needed to create the success that you say so badly that you want. I get that. I understand that completely. Believe me, you're talking to somebody who grew up as an addict, who lived in a motel, who was in jail, who's completely lost, broken, had no understanding on how to live a life full of intent, full of real happiness and real joy, not the manufactured stuff, and how to truly build an empire. I didn't know any of that. And the thing is even if I knew it all, the fear overrided all the tools that I would have ever been given. Who here has that fear? I want to see, raise your hand if that is a fear of yours. And it doesn't matter what it is, but is there a fear that's stopping you? Is there a fear that's stopping you from betting on yourself? A fear that's stopping you from having the conversation? A fear that's stopping you from truly going all in on whatever it is that you need to go in all in on? This is just in general. So if you are that person, or if you aren't that person, tell you right now, if you aren't that person, new levels bring new devils. Because if you're not there right now, I promise you, as you continue to climb, it will hit you and it will hurt you unless you do what we're talking about right here, right now, which is this. Fear is very simple. Fear is not an enemy. See, I used to think when people talked about fear of like, oh, man, I'm so scared of this, I'm so scared of that, I'm scared to get on the phone. Fear, and write this down, fear is a beacon of light of what you need to work through most. So whatever it is that you fear, actually it's the thing that you need to work through most, right? The magic pill possibly that you think that you need is in the work that you're avoiding because of the fear. The magic pill that you need is the work that you are avoiding because of your fear. And fear, if now we understand, is nothing but a beacon of light of what you need to work through most. It's beautiful, right? Fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment. I see all these down here. All that is showing you that you need to work through that more. right? Because if you look at rejection, you look at embarrassment, you look at judgment, right? All these things are one thing. And it's very simple when you actually break it down. It's one thing. Fear of all those things is a reflection on how you feel about yourself. You don't have enough love for yourself. You don't have enough grace for yourself. You're not staying consistent with your daily commitments, all these little things. So take a step back and ask yourself, do I fear these things, right? Because they're true? Or do I fear these things just because I know I'm not doing the work I need to be doing? Do I fear these things because it's uncertain? Do I fear these things because of, you've had it happen before? I talk to people all the time, man, John, they're going to say this. Well, why? Because they said it before. How many people? One. That's not enough evidence. So whatever you're fearing right now, guys, I want you to become a fear finder. I did this for an entire year where every week I asked myself, what do I fear? Having the conversations, building that business, right? Whatever it is, become a fear finder, because the more you find fear and your relationship with fear changes, everything else changes. And the last thing I'm going to dive into, and then we'll bring Jamie on here. Who here thinks they're a procrastinator or they procrastinate on things? Say yes if you've been procrastinating on something, whatever it is. Like it could be anything in any area of life. Here's the thing, we all procrastinate. Nobody, if somebody said no in this, I never procrastinate, I'm sorry, but you're lying, right? We all procrastinate on different things in life. And here's the reason why. Because whatever it is you're procrastinating on, this is what I want you to do real quick. Write it down on a piece of paper. What's the thing you're procrastinating on? First thing comes in your brain. Maybe there's 30 things you're dealing with, but write one thing down very quick. What's the one thing? Making dials, going all in on your business, having a conversation, doing social media, posting. What is the one thing you're procrastinating on? Okay. Now I want you to ask yourself and write this down. We're going to take 15 seconds. So jot down fast. When you look at that thing and you see it, okay, what is the story you give it? What is the narrative that you're giving that thing? What is this? Oh, it's not a priority. Oh, nobody wants to talk to me. Oh, I'm not good enough. What's the story that you're giving that thing? Take 10 seconds. I want you to write down a story, the narrative that plays out when you look at that thing and think about taking action on it. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Does that story serve you? Does that story serve you for success? Yes or no? There should be a bunch of no's. Here's the thing, guys. You are not a procrastinator. You're a very bad storyteller. Plain and simple. You are not a procrastinator. You're just giving really bad stories to the things that you know you need to do. So change the story. It's not the thing that you're avoiding. It's the story that is making you avoid it. So if we come to the beginning, if we come to what I call a cause, not the symptom is the procrastination. I'll say it again. The symptom is the procrastination. The cause is the story you're giving it. So, all right, let's make it simple. Change the story. Change the story. If the story no longer serves you, throw it out. If the story no longer serves you, throw it out. Much easier said than done. I get it. We'll do it more often. Do it more. Continue to build that story selling mindset, story selling a muscle. And I promise you to start telling better stories. Because what it comes down to is you're not making it a priority because the story you're giving it is that it's not a priority, but deep down, you know it is. So give the thing you're procrastinating on a better story that creates better action, that'll create better results. And I'll leave you with this. Nobody's going to change the story of your life except you. No one's going to change the story of the thing that you're procrastinating on except you. And the greatest part about that is you have complete control over it. Control the controllable, your effort, your execution, and your energy. When you can control the things that you can control and you own it, the rest becomes easy. And I promise you, life becomes a lot more beautiful, a lot more peace. Still struggle. Don't forget, there'll still be struggle. But the most beautiful part is you're owning the stories that you're giving things, you're owning your action, and you're controlling the controllable. So don't worry about procrastinating. Go to the cause. Tell a better story, get better action, create better results. So I appreciate you guys. We're gonna stay on here for a few more minutes. Once again, if you need me at Real John Marrone, hit me up. I'm here for anything you guys need. But Jamie, I'm gonna toss this back to you and see what we got. Any questions or anything?
Yeah, awesome, John. We appreciate you joining us for an hour today, and each of you. I find it always super impactful when we turn off all the distractions. We're in a moment, and then we have takeaways. So I'd love, as you're thinking about your takeaways, I took some, I tried to share a few. Leave your takeaway before you leave. And more importantly, we want to continue to provide you value. If you are currently a CINC client, we do these types of webinars on a very regular basis. If you go to cincommunity.com, you can see that full webinar schedule. We're also doing them live again. John in person, the CINC community team, we have Lance and Matt and Steve and a whole bunch of other individuals that are coming to local markets right in your backyard. So check it out, come see us. And then finally, if you're not currently a CINC client, we want to continue to drive value. We do regular webinars like this, but if you want to learn more about the value of a community like CINC, lead generation and a powerful conversion engine, I've put those links in the chat, and we're just here to help. So with all that being said, we did the sales pitch. There are questions, John. And I think that there's 3 that came up that I want to bring to your attention. And then if anyone else has any additional questions, please let us know. The first is, you spoke a lot about energy. Sometimes we pick up the phone and the other individual on the side of the phone has no energy. How do you handle those moments?
Well, I want to talk about a myth real quick, because we've always been taught you got to match them, right? Mirror match. And you don't have to mirror match their energy. You don't have to, right? You go mirror and match their words, not their energy. They said, oh, I was just looking, even though you said just browsing. You say, perfect. Hey, so while I have you, what's prompting you to look? Right? So we match their words, not their energy. So if somebody has bad energy, stay in your lane. Understand, we got to bring them up, right? It's way better to bring them up to our energy than for them to go ahead and suck us down. Because they suck you down during that call, Jamie, I'm telling you right now, if that person with low energy sucks you down for that call, that will be reflected on every call afterwards, unless you do something intentionally. So keep your energy high. They got low energy, bring them up. If they're not willing to come up with you, you stay the course, because it's about energy on call 101 that wins, not call 1.
Awesome. I love that. And same with that, when we're calling, and you're making hundreds of calls, what time of day have you found works best when individuals are scheduling and time blocking call sessions?
Well, you said something key there, time blocking. So make sure you guys are doing that every Sunday, time block for the entire week. So here's the funny thing. is when we do our power hour, so we do the whole 7 hours of conversion day, we call it's like from 2 to 3 or something like that, 2 to 3:30. And that is supposed to be the worst time to call, right? The worst time. And our results are out of this world phenomenal for the last 4.5 years. So when's the best time? A little specific to market sometimes, like in Vegas, don't be calling at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? Like it's a little bit different, but at the same time, there is no bad time to call. Get that out of your head. There's no bad time to call. We use that as an excuse not to pick up the phone. If you're looking for the best times from what studies show, it's 8:30 to 10 basically, or it's 4:30 to 6:30. Those are the best times, and then weekends as well.
Awesome. Awesome. And then I think the final question is regarding you're making the phone calls. What happens when you get a voicemail? Don't
leave it. Right?
Why?
Like,
well, how do they not know? Like, I know that they're going to call me back, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So what we talked about from the beginning, we said they think of real estate agents as car salesmen. They don't want to be sold. So you haven't added any value yet. You have no value, right? You have no, now we know we do, but to them, you don't. This is just reality and perspective. So if you say that you are John and you're a real estate agent, they're thinking, well, he's trying to sell me and I could go ahead and just go online and do my search myself. We don't want to leave the voicemail because as soon as we do that, they see that number, they can block that number. They see that number, like I'm never picking it up. It's a salesman. You never had the opportunity to build true rapport because you left that voicemail. So don't leave a voicemail. And I'm telling you, I've tried. I'm not gonna lie, Jamie. I've like, you know what? Let me see if I can debunk my own myth, right? And we left voice. I'm like, no, this is a really good voicemail. No one's ever called me back unless those people are like really eager to buy. And if that's the case, you're going to get in touch with them anyway, as long as you're making enough dials.
I totally agree. And then like tell me about like text message. What are your thoughts on text message?
So CINC has amazing AI, right? So it kind of gets out of our hands, and it's, artificial intelligence does it, so we don't have to worry about it. But text messaging is huge. But there's 5 levels of communication. All right, so guys, write this down. 5 levels. We'll start with the bottom. First is going to be email. Okay. Second is going to be text. Third is going to be phone call. Fourth is going to be Zoom or virtual. And then fifth is going to be face-to-face. So if you're texting somebody, stay there for a minute. Cool. Like, have that conversation, but just know you need to advance it. Find that opportune time and advance it to that next level of connection and communication. Maybe it's face-to-face. Maybe you jump all the way up, but maybe it's a phone call. And the best way to do that is say, hey, look, next step in the process, Jamie, super simple. We've been having great conversation at text. A few things I want to go over on the phone with you. Take about 10 minutes. When's a good time to call you? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Perfect, right? And we go right into it. So try to always advance to the next level of communication. But if you're talking via text, stay there for a minute, right? Stay there for a minute. Hang out with them, build a rapport, build a conversation, and then advance it.
Awesome. Awesome. And then there's one last question, and I think we're going to wrap up. Someone wants you to repeat all the 5 levels again. And then someone asked about direct mail. What about putting a letter in the mail? Where would that stack up? So is there really actually 6?
So there is, right? I mean, that would be the bottom one. Not saying it's the worst, guys. I'm not saying it's the worst, but that's a one line of communication. Okay. That's one line of communication. When you say, I'm going to go ahead and send a email out, right? We're hoping they can go back and forth. They're not going to keep sending me letters. We don't have a pen pals. That's not the thing anymore. So that's why I don't put direct mail in there, because it's one way of communication. And it's not like a double, we keep going back and forth. But the original, the OG ways, which is going to be email, text, phone call, virtual, and then face-to-face. And those are the 5 levels. Video, same thing. Like texting is a part of video, right? Email, you can do a video. Those aren't levels of communication. That's a part of that type of communication, if that makes sense.
It totally does. The 3 E's: effort, education, and
effort. It says effort, execution.
Oh, sorry.
Energy. Those are the 3 things you can control. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And before we jump off here, I want to leave a little bit of words of hopefully inspiration for them too. So we can answer a few more questions though.
Let's see. When you get face-to-face and invite them to a buyer consultation, what was the title to call your buyer consultation? Not consultation, but instead call it what? You
call it first off, call it whatever you feel comfortable calling it and have confidence in. That's more, not comfortable. Confidence would be a better word. But strategy, what we use is a win strategy. So I'm going to be able to show you our win strategy. And simply, Jamie, what that means is I want to figure out what you want and why you want it. So we can do intentional investigation on and off the inventory.
Got it.
And then we can create a negotiation strategy that matches you and what you guys are trying to accomplish. Does that sound fair?
Yes. Awesome. So I think, one other question I want, win strategy. And then there was like meet and greet. So I think everyone, like, you got to make it your own, right? Like, we can't all be John. We got to make it our own. Super impactful there. So I do want to let everyone know this is going to be, this has been recorded. We'll be sending the recording, give us until Monday with the long holiday weekend, Monday, Tuesday, but we will be recording it or sending the recording to everyone. John, let's close. All
right. So the way I want to kind of put in you guys the ear, I want you guys to take a second, because I think a lot of us are people of faith, and whatever that faith is for you, right? It's faith of God, faith of the universe, whatever it is. But if I sit back and I actually listen to you, you're speaking in a lot of fear terms. So we talked about fear before, and I'm not a big believer in faking it till you make it. I used to do that, and I got more broke doing that than I did anything else. I'm a big believer in faithing it till I make it. Now, here's the thing. There's a very, very clear understanding of what type of person you are, if you truly have faith or if you're walking in fear. So if I ask everybody, are you someone of a person of faith? I would say majority of you guys would say yes, 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 right? Go ahead, drop it in there. Are you somebody of faith? Yes, 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 yes. There's gonna be tons of them. But here's the thing. Here's how you distinct if you are truly somebody of faith or truly somebody of fear. So words we say. So when you say, what if? Oh, what if I make it full of myself? What if I sound stupid? What if I fail? What if they hang up on me? Those words are powered and driven by fear. which means you're living in a fear state. But now if you say, even if they make fun of me, I'm going to keep going. Even if I screw up, I'm going to keep going. Even if they hang up on me, I'm going to dial another one. Even if I fail, I'm going to keep going until I succeed. Even if is the words of somebody that is truly faithful. So everybody has said you are somebody who are massively faithful, a little bit faithful, no matter what it is. If you're somebody of faith, which we all should be, and whatever kind of faith that is for you, doesn't have to be church, whatever it is, then change the words you're saying and identify, are you currently living in the what if language, which is fear driven, or are you somebody in the even if? And it's super easy to change it. Catch yourself, be self-aware, as soon as you hear, what if this happens, stop it and say, hold on, that story doesn't serve me. Not what if, it's even if this happens, I will rise up and I will conquer the things I said I'm going to conquer. I am no longer a what if fear-driven person. I am an even if faithful person, and I'm walking in faith, and I'm putting faith over fear. And that's how I go about my day every single day. So hopefully that's helped some people understand that words matter. Change your words, change your world, change what if to even if, and watch the rest follow.
John, mic drop. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for each of you for spending an hour of your day. I hope that you found at least one takeaway. Go catch up with us, send us a DM. We're here to help. Have a great Thursday.